righty. Hello, everyone. This is Danya Zimmerman, the powerful biz woman. And thank you so much for tuning into the ultimate business conversation. And I apologize about that. I didn't have my light on me because I finally fixed my lighting. I am so excited to be here with you. And we have my special guest, my business advisor, my mentor, Dr. Leroy McKenzie. He is a doctor now, honorary doctorate. Dr. Leroy McKenzie. And today we are going to be talking about how to read and understand your business financial statements. And we have been talking about this since it is tax season because we think this is very important for you to know about your business finances, especially in this crazy time since 2019. We have been shut down due to the coronavirus, and a lot of things have changed. People are no longer working. A lot of people lost their businesses, lost their jobs. A lot of government agencies lost employees, including the IRS. That's why we want you to really, really focus on your business finances because things are starting to open again, and you need to know your numbers as to whether or not you should be in business, as to whether or not you should stay in business, but you need to know your numbers. And it's very important for you as a business owner to be diligent, do your due diligence, be professional about it when it comes to your numbers. And me and Dr. McKenzie are going to help you with that. But I am going to have Dr. McKenzie introduce himself to you and tell you a little about who he is and what he does.
Can you hear me, Donnie? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. I'm
Oh,
sorry, I put my thumb up to let you know I can
oh,
hear you.
let's say
Sorry,
good evening. No,
but
that's okay. I thought I saw the thumb go up, but good evening, everybody. Uh, it's your boy, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., and I am the president CEO of JNF Enterprises. And who we are is a distribution publishing and business consulting firm here in Baltimore, Maryland. What we do is we assist individuals and organizations to be able to bring their vision to reality, and we do that through business consulting or entrepreneurship. We do it through branding and marketing strategies and plans, and then we also do it through book consulting that we do. What we do is hopefully the content that we provide for you or to you will enlighten, empower, and impact you in such a way that we make your business better after you have an encounter with us than you were before you have an encounter with us. Um, I've been in business for a number of years now, since 2004, 2004, and just doing business consulting and wanting to assist us in being able to make our businesses run better. When I started my business, there was so much information out there about how to start a business, but there wasn't any information. I didn't find any information that showed you how to keep the doors open. So having conversations like this, Danya, with you is so important because we need to understand the what I call the business aspect of your business, that back part of the business that not a lot of people like to do, but it has to be done. And in order for you to be a successful business, in order for you to be able to be a sustainable business, like Danya said, you have to know your numbers. You have to know your numbers, but even beyond the numbers, you have to have a clear understanding of the statements that your financial statements that you're reading or that you have to do, that your accountant will hopefully do, because you don't want to be out here trying to do your own financial for your own financials, and not truly understand what it is that you're doing. Yeah, you should know the basics, some basics and everything like that, but at the same time, you should certainly have an accountant to be able to go over the information with you so that you have a clear understanding of your business, clear understanding of your position, and then how you can be as successful as you can be in your business.
Exactly. That is why I felt it was very important until maybe the end of March to really focus on this, so that when
Mhm.
you do meet with that tax professional, you will have everything you need. You will understand what a profit and loss statement is. You will have a clear understanding what expenses are, what your gross income is versus your net income. And you will just understand that when you meet with your tax professional, whether it be an accountant, IRS enrolled agent, you know your numbers. And whether it be with your bookkeeper, you will know your numbers. You will have a clear understanding, because if you don't know how your money is coming and going in your business, you really don't have a business. Because as a business owner, you have to be willing to do what needs to be done to have an understanding of your numbers. Without knowing your business finance numbers, you don't know if it is valuable for you to stay in business, or would it be viable for you to close the business and start from scratch. You don't know if a certain product or service that you are selling, service package that you are selling, should you continue to promote it, should you continue to market it, should you continue to sell it, if you don't know the numbers, how much money you made, how much money you made, what is your gross income compared to how much money you spent on it. So you have to have a clear understanding of that. You have to have a clear understanding of what deductions you can take when it comes to doing your business taxes, because a lot of things have changed with the IRS, a lot of things. And me and Leroy have really been doing shows. I've been doing the ultimate business conversation, talking about the financial part, and we have really been talking about it over in the Bankrupt Proof Your Biz Clubhouse. So you really need to know your numbers. And Leroy, what are the top 5 tips that you do when it comes to understanding your business finances?
Well, one of the first things that um, that we want to look at is look at the business statements that that you should understand. That's your balance sheet, that's your profit and loss statement that you mentioned, your cash flow statement, things like that that allow you to be able to know what it is and what the function of each of them is. What the balance sheet will tell you, what your P&L statement will tell you, what your cash flow statement tells you, all of those things, so that when you look at the numbers, you're not just looking at a bunch of numbers and say, okay, well, what does that tell me? So that's the first thing, is just understanding which statements that you're going to be or need to look at, and those are the 4 basic ones there that you look at. The second thing is once you once you have those statements, know what to expect from your accountant, and what they do in those statements, and making sure that you have an accountant on your team, I should say. That's the first thing you want to have, either an accountant, or I want to say like the accountant, bookkeeper, or an IRS, would you say, role agent. You want to make sure that you have one of them on your team, because they're going to be able to know what laws might need that have come down the pike, like you mentioned, Don. There have been some certainly have been some laws that have changed since we've been in the pandemic, and then there are things that are changing or will change, once we come out of the pandemic. And understand this, that even, let's say, I don't know how far in advance that, before something becomes a law, but if you keep your accounting, or your financial person should be keeping up with what's going on in legislation, and they'll know about it before you even had a thought about it, because there could be something that's on the books or getting ready to come, that can be talked about, that they would be around the people that would know that something, hey, we got to look out for this is going to be changing coming 2022. But this was back in, let's say, 2021 or 2020 when they were talking about it. So they can keep you abreast of those laws that are changing, that can be changing or will be changing coming down. So that's the second thing, is the statements, having that team member, that financial team member that you need, because that is so vital. We can't stress that enough, of having that person, because if you don't want to find yourself not knowing the financial position that your business is in. And I think, unfortunately, that was the case with a lot of businesses, and why they went out of business. They didn't know the numbers. They didn't know the numbers. They weren't ready for the shift that needed to be made in the pandemic. And then when the shift needed to be made and they needed to know their numbers, they couldn't supply 'em. That was part of the reason why I believe that a lot of businesses, and particularly those in in our community, did not get the PPP loans, because we didn't know our numbers, and we didn't have our numbers together so that we could apply for those loans, or not, yeah, the loans that were out there, or even the grants or money that was out there for us. So they're very important. And then the last thing is just you yourself keeping up and have a basic understanding. That means you're gonna have to do some you have to do some reading. You have to do some work yourself, so that when you have those conversations with your accountant, you actually understand what they're talking about. You understand the language. There's a financial language that goes on. You know, and so you have to be abreast of what that is, what certain things mean. And then if you don't know, or if you're not aware of it, don't be afraid to ask. Ask them what that. Well, I don't quite understand what that means. Tell me what that means. Well, tell me what that does. It's just like when you go to when your car has to be taken to the mechanic. And I tell people this all the time. I said, when you take your car to the mechanic, and they figure out what it is that's wrong, before they fix it, they should do two things. They should tell you what's wrong, but then they should also be able to show you what's wrong. And if you have questions, and you have to ask, well, what does that do? Because I did it with my mechanic. Do it with my mechanic. If I don't understand a particular thing, well, what's that do? You know, and he has no problem with explaining it to me and letting me know what that particular thing does to the car, so that when if something happens again with that very thing, that I kind of know what it is. Same thing with your numbers. If you know your numbers, then you can understand what certain things are doing, what you can do, what you might not be able to do, because you have your budget, you got your forecast, you have all of those things. And then as you go along throughout the year, you can actually understand those numbers, see what you forecasted versus what you actually did. Are you over budget? Are you under budget? Are you where you want to be? Are you hitting your numbers? Are you doing the numbers that you want to do? And if you are doing the numbers, or if you aren't doing the numbers, then why aren't you? And then what can you do to change that? So that all plays into, to me, the tips that you need in order to be able to understand, but then also to be able to read, and then also to be able to know what to do with the numbers, because it's more than just reading the numbers, also knowing what to do with them too.
That
Oh, I think
makes
you
a
mean.
lot of sense. And ooh, sorry about that.
Mhm,
Oh Lord, I'm gonna have to edit. One thing I
mhm,
wanted to tell people: if you really want to learn how to really know your numbers, look at Shark Tank. Because as
yes.
you were
Yep.
talking, I was trying to find this young black woman who gave the best pitch. It came on during Super Bowl, after Super Bowl. Remember the young black man and his mother? They knew their numbers. It was a young
Mhm,
black man who was 15 years old with his mother, and they knew their numbers. And this young lady knew her numbers. And I wanted
mhm.
to share the screen and show
Okay.
how you know your numbers. And the reason why they won the pitches and got the investors on Shark Tank to invest in them was because they knew their numbers. When they asked those questions, how much was your gross revenue? This young man said we made about, what did he say? We made about 300,000. And then he
Mhm.
broke down his expenses. He broke down why they needed this money to hire more people, because it was just him and his mother. But he knew his numbers. And the
Mhm.
young lady, she knew her numbers as well. So the most important thing, like you said, Leroy, is know your numbers. And, because a lot of people like me, I didn't know my numbers. And I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm starting to know my numbers. I'm starting to have a clear understanding of my numbers in order to be successful as a business owner, so that I can know where I am spending too much money and where I need to spend more money. And what do I need to do to get people like from Shark Tank and from, apply for grants. And that's another thing. This is a good time to get money because the federal government and big corporations are giving out grants. But I've always been afraid to apply because I didn't know my numbers. But now that I'm
Mhm.
sitting and educating myself, reading books, doing accounting 101, irs.gov, they have a site now where you can actually do webinars where they're explaining to you the new laws and everything. And I will share that in the chat box with you. But you need to know your numbers. And Leroy, can you please give a testimony as to how your business became successful once you had a clear understanding of your numbers, your business finance numbers?
Well, the thing of it was making sure, one, that when I first started my business, and even now, each year is having my business plan, and within the business plan you do your financials, and your financials are just a projection of either what you plan to do in the upcoming year, and then what you've done in prior years, to be able to look at it. But my thing is each year you should be looking at your business plan on an annual basis, but you should be looking at your numbers monthly, quarterly, and annually. And what that does is that will give you an idea of what it is that you said you were going to do, because you should be doing your budget for the next year and towards the end of the previous year. So for 2023, you should start to look at your numbers, or you should start doing your forecasting for your business for 2023, or in that last quarter. That's October, November, December. You should begin to formulate what it is that you want to do for the next upcoming year. And you do that because you do it in the fourth quarter, because you have enough information from your numbers from the particular year that you're in, to be able to see what you did that year. It'll give you an idea of your position for that particular year. So you can say, okay, I know I did X amount of X amount of sales in the first month, second month, third month, and next year, let's say you want to increase it by 5%. So how do I increase it by 5%? That means I have to do X amount of more sales for that next year, and that becomes what your forecast is, and then what your budget is for that next year. You look at it and you say, look at your products and your services that you offer, and you can actually then say, okay, I have X number of products or services that I offer, and if I do these numbers monthly, then I can, I know I did this amount last year, and if I want to do 5% more, how many more products, how many more services do I have to do, or take on however many clients that I need to take on in order to be able to increase my numbers by 5%, 10% that upcoming year. And then what you do is, at the end of the year, when you do getting ready to do the projections for the following year, you look and see, or you can do it on that monthly basis. You can say, am I hitting those numbers? Did I do that 5% that I wanted? Or if I didn't do it, then why didn't I do it? Or if I did do it, why did I do it? So that you have a clear understanding of where you are, your forecasted budget versus your actual budget. That will give you a clear idea of where you are, where you need to be, and what you might need to do, or what might have to do in order to be able to hit or be at the numbers that you want to be. So those are just a couple of things that I do, and you just kind of, once you have the template, then you just kind of repeat that cycle, monthly, quarterly, and then annually. And you have to look at the numbers. You look at it monthly, actual versus what you projected, and see where you are. Are you over budget? Are you under budget? And then you take a look at what's going on. Around you, because there could have been certain things that may have impacted you. All of us were impacted by the pandemic. So, so those numbers are going to look, aren't going to look good compared to, let's say prior to the pandemic. Let's say 2019, 2018, your numbers might have looked a lot better. So you have to have an understanding of what went on in a particular year that may have caused those numbers, because it's more than just knowing the numbers, but it's also knowing what number, how those numbers were impacted, what gave you those particular numbers, or what didn't go right to give you the particular numbers that you wanted.
That is some good tips.
Mhm.
For me, the most important thing that I have learned this year is you have to have you just got to know your numbers. You just got to.
Mhm.
And another thing is, don't be afraid, because a lot of people, like, people will say, "Oh, math was my worst subject." Nobody really does good in math. Nobody really, to be honest, we really don't do good in math. But you have to be willing to look at those numbers to know whether should I close my business, or should I step back, should I revamp. Because when you know your numbers, it gives you a clear understanding of what do I need to do to increase my revenue. When you look at your numbers on a quarterly basis, it gives you that knowledge and that understanding to say, hey, what do I need to do in order to increase my revenue? Also, when
Oh,
you look at your expenses, you can look at it and say, where am I wasting too much money? Am I wasting too much money with this training? If I am I wasting too much money hiring this particular person? Am I wasting too much money marketing, promoting, and advertising this product? Makes you look at which products are financially valuable to you, and which products are just not, you're not making no money. Which products bring in the revenue, which products don't bring in the revenue. And I think a lot of times we waste a lot of time, money, and energy focusing on stuff that just does not bring revenue. Like, I took a training yesterday on social media, and she was talking about you need to look at your time. How much time, what are you spending your time on? If it's not a revenue generating um goal,
activity.
activity, thank you, don't focus on it. Only focus on revenue generating activities. And Leroy, how would you define a revenue generating activity?
Well, I define it, and it's funny you say that, because my mentor, he said that very thing. It's like you on a daily basis, you ask yourself, before you take on or do something, is this something that is going to generate revenue for me? And I look at something like taking particular phone calls. You know, um, is this a potential client that's calling me? Is it a friend that's calling me just to kind of, chit chat and everything like that? Am I watching too much TV? Where's my time being spent? I enjoy reading, but I'm particular about the books that I read, could, because they're giving me information. I can spend, here's a good tip. How much time do you spend on the internet? Using or watching YouTube. And are you watching YouTube to gain information that's going to be able to allow you to be able to make more money? Or are you using YouTube just to kind of, for kicks and giggles, to be able to just kind of get a laugh, or just kind of passing time away? Because you can find yourself I mean, hours upon hours on, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. All those things can consume your time, but if you use them in the right way, they can be a revenue generating tool. You know, give you an example of that. Um, on Facebook, there are certain groups that I belong to, and there's certain, time or days that I can promote in those groups. So that's a revenue generating activity. That's using social media for me to be able to generate revenue. Am I going to, events that I can network at? Where my particular target audience, or my particular target market is going to be. You ask yourself before you do things. You know, um, all of those things, everything that we do on a daily basis, all you have to do is asking yourself, is this activity bringing money into my business? Does it have the potential to bring money into my business? How many times do you talk about your business throughout the day, whether it's through social media, or whether it's through engagement on the phone, or at an event that you might have to? What are those things that you can look at, that you do, and just chart it? I just charted this for 1 month on a daily basis. Look at the activities that you do and ask yourself, how much did revenue did this activity generate for me? And you'll begin to see where your time is being spent. you know so that's how I look at it when I think about revenue generating activities. I ask myself, does this have the potential to bring me customers or clients? Does it have the is it making is it am I doing it to pull money into my business, to be able to make money for my business? All of those things.
I feel the same way too, because I'm starting to learn to focus more on tasks and activities that will generate revenue for me. And the key for me
Mhm.
was exposure, my social media
Mhm.
presence. I had stopped being on social media for a while, and I had to realize I have to be consistent, and I
Mhm.
have to be focused and determined. And the key was not to be salesy, but be educational and informative. And that's what
Yeah.
I'm learning. And the key, if you want to make revenue in your business, because this is why I asked Leroy, Dr. McKenzie, to be my advisor, because he strategically picks events. He strategically picks when he is going to be on social media. And whenever he's on social media, I can tell that he's doing a revenue generating activity. And even when he asks you little questions like about entertainment, sports, I know what he's doing. He's keeping his people engaged, because I just learned that there are three types of social media postings: informative, engaging, and educational. So
Mhm.
he does all three. And I'm learning from him to do all three. You can be informative, educational, and engaging. And you can ask silly little questions to keep your audience engaged. But the thing is, consistency. Consistency. If you want to make money, just like at a 9 to 5 job, you consistently go to work on time. You consistently do what your boss tells you to do in order to get your paycheck every week or every 2 weeks. And that's what you got to think of your business. See your business as your boss. And if you want to get paid and get that money by Friday or by the end of the month, you have to constantly, consistently work in your business. And I think that's a problem that a lot of us do. When we start our businesses, we get lazy. And I'm a victim to that. We get lazy. We do not feel like doing anything. We feel like we have this free time to do this and that. No, you are an employee to your business. If you want to get paid, if you want to bring that money in, you better be putting informative, engaging, and educational information out there. And also, you need to get out and network. Now that everything is opening, you need to go out there and network. And like Leroy said, how often do you talk about your business? If you have a 9 to 5 job and you have a side gig, talk about your business. I used to be like, oh, I don't want to talk about my business. Now I talk about my business. I don't care what anybody says. I talk about my business. And Leroy, why do you think it's important to see your business as your employer, as a
Well,
good tool to get you out there?
that's the thing. It is when you are an entrepreneur, your business um is your employer because you work. Um, I'm not going to say in your business, but you work for your business. And as an entrepreneur, you working for your business means you have to. I mean, every opportunity that you get, you should be talking about your business because entrepreneurship or sales, when it comes to your business, is a numbers game. And you have the more people that know about you, the more exposure that you gain, the more exposure that you get, the more opportunity that you have clients or to have a customer. And in order for you to bankrupt proof your business, which means to have cash flow, because if you don't have cash flowing into your business, you will be bankrupt. So the only way that you are able to gain new clients, gain new customers, is by constantly and consistently exposing your business to new people. So that means, you have to talk about it. You've got to talk about it. I don't care if it's on social media. I don't care if it's in the grocery store. You strike up a conversation with somebody in Walmart, wherever it is that you are able to talk about your business, who you are, what you do, and how you do it. You want to do that because you want to make sure that you have the as many customers as you can, and you don't want to let the opportunity of gaining a new customer get away from you. No, you don't know initially whether or not that person is your target market, but I promise you, if you don't say anything, then you'll never know. But if you do say something, that means that they could potentially see what it is that you do, and even if they don't see the need or the value in your particular business, they may see the need or the value in it for someone else. So you never know who I say you never know who you're talking to. So you want to talk to as many people. It's important to talk to as many people as possible so that you can gain those clients or customers that you would not have if you don't talk to them. So that's kind of how I believe, talking to people is it should be easy to you. Somebody said almost like Google, when Google has those keywords, somebody says a keyword to you, boom, your mission statement or who you are as a business should come right up. It should come right out your mouth. Your 30-second to 60-second spiel should come out. Who you are, what you do, how you do it should automatically come out.
You are absolutely correct because I'm starting to talk more and more. And you have to realize that you are the best employee for your business. You are the best advertisement for your business. You are the best promoter for your business. This how you know that, when you keep talking about your business and talking about it and you see the money coming in, that's why it's so important for you to be comfortable with always looking at your numbers, always making sure you know your numbers every quarterly. When you are out there saying, oh, I'm going to create some products and services, make sure you have an understanding of how much it's going to cost you in these 3 months to promote this, how much it's going to cost you, how much do you expect, how much revenue do you expect to make from this product or service in the next 3 months. That's why it's important to know your numbers. And then what you do when you have your bookkeeper will sit down with you every month. I suggest you meet with your bookkeeper every month, and they will look at, okay, this is the product and service you took. Say bankrupt proof your biz box. You said that you wanted to make 5,000 by the end of this month, but say you only made 2,500. Your bookkeeper will look at the numbers and say, okay, this is how much it cost you. I think making this product cost you more. Your expenses were more for this product than what you're bringing in. So you may want to either go back and stop selling this product or service, or go back and revamp it so that your expenses for making this product is cheaper, and your revenue increases. So that's why it's important to have these people in your business dream team. And you can always get like a accountant who is both a bookkeeper and accountant. But if you have an accountant who says I don't do bookkeeping, I would get a bookkeeper, because a bookkeeper deals with your present finances, whereas an accountant deals with your past finances. They get you ready for the tax season. But if you can get an accountant who's a bookkeeper and accountant, that is perfect. And if you say, well, I can afford an accountant, but I can't afford a bookkeeper, there are a lot of accountants out there who are bookkeepers as well. There are a lot of enrolled IRS enrolled agencies who are bookkeepers as well. Or if you say, well, I only want to meet with my accountant once a year and pay them, I don't want to pay them, you can get a bookkeeper. And if you say I can't afford a bookkeeper, you know where you can get a good bookkeeper? Colleges, community colleges. Get a student who is majoring in accounting, business finances, and they will be more than willing to work with you, because not only are they getting work experience, they're getting a little bit of money, while they go through college. And Leroy, why do you think it's important to have a bookkeeper and accountant on your dream team?
Well, I mean, the thing of it is that that's one less task that you can take off of your plate as an entrepreneur, when you don't have to have that to worry about. You just make sure that they have what the tools that they need, have the software that they need. You're making sure that they have your receipts. You make sure that they have your receipts so that they can actually that they can properly file the expenses where they need to be. And then when they go to look at them at the end of the month or the end of the quarter, whatever time frame that it is, they have it properly logged, and then you can see the numbers to be able to do that. And it's important that we as entrepreneurs understand the difference between working for your business and then working in your business. If you're having to do the accounting, you're working in your business. If you have a bookkeeper, you have an accountant, or you have a tax um a tax role advisor, they work in your business. I would rather um pay someone to be able to take care of those tasks, and then I can go out and do the networking that needs to be done. I can go out and do the recruiting of getting the task of getting clients and getting customers, so that generating I'm generating revenue for the business. So that's what you want to be able to do. And you can't do that. You can't generate new clients if you're trying to do the accounting for your business. So that's the importance of it. And what they do, that financial person does, they take that task off the table for you, so that you can actually still you can devote more time to to gaining more clients and customers for your business. That's the most important reason why I believe you need to have them. And then they should of course keep your numbers straight. Keep you from having to deal with the IRS. Yeah, and making sure that all of your I's are dotted, um, and your T's are crossed when it comes to the financials of your business. And they give you a true assessment. They should give you a true assessment of the position of your business. Like you said, do I need to um, eliminate this product? Is it going to take some tweaking to it? Can I find something that can I get it? Can I make the product or have the product done at a lower price or at a lower cost, so that it can increase my revenue? How do I need to approach that? And having being able to have those conversations with your financial person, your financial advisor, will bode well for you, because you'll know which way to kind of go, and you aren't just guessing for yourself either.
They give you a true assessment of your business, tax and financial professionals. You really need them on your team, and you need to stop being afraid to ask for help, because these tax and financial professionals are there. They're not there to take your money. I would rather pay my tax professional or financial professional, $1,000 retainer to help me get my taxes straight, help me get my business finances straight on a quarterly basis, then get a letter from the IRS, and then have, compared to paying $1,000 retainer to get me out of trouble, I have to wind up paying them $5,000. Weigh the difference. Weigh it. $1,000 up front. Is that better, or $5,000 later when that IRS sends you that audit letter? You know, so you need to weigh the pros and cons as to why this is important, why it is important for you to do this. And I wanted to share something. I finally found the video from Shark Tank, and I want to share my screen. Can you see my screen? Let me make sure. Can you see it? All right, where is? So I'm going to share my screen, and I just want to play this snippet where it says know your numbers. Let me know. Can you see it, Leroy?
No, I can't. Yeah, I can't see it.
Let me see if it's on.
Yeah, I'm going to call it right now. I think I found the single biggest productivity hack of
time. Oh, I hate this. Sorry about the commercial.
There you go.
Can you see it now?
Yeah.
All right. I just want to share this.
It always helps for an entrepreneur if they know their numbers. Do they know how much it costs them to make their stuff and how much it costs to sell them? The more they know about their business, the more it shows the sharks that these are people they want to invest in.
If I got in front of the sharks, I would want $50,000 for 40% stake.
$325,000.
$50,000 investment.
$565,000 for 18.8% push.
$190,000 is going to go towards hardware development, software development version 2, as well as sales and marketing.
The rest of that funds will go for the 8 employment positions that this will ultimately create in this investment.
Giving away equity doesn't scare me because I'm confident of the money that's going to be able to come back.
Effectively, there's a need for capitalization to produce more units than we make.
We have a product that needs excellent point-of-sale material to show the consumer how they can use this.
We looked at our projected sales. We looked at our POs that we currently have, and we believe that's a reasonable price for a company.
We're looking not only for money in the partnership, but we're also looking for a business partner who understands marketing and distribution better than we do.
A lot of research and a lot of number crunching to figure out what we need to secure the capital now to take us to venture capital and future capital.
We've created an international brand, but we're not a household brand. And by having the sharks behind us, we're going to be that household name that I said we would in the beginning.
Presented by US Cellular.
And see, that's what I wanted to share with you. You know why they won? Is because they knew their numbers. Like the one gentleman said, we need this money for employment. What do you say? Market distribution, employment. We need it for this and that. They knew their numbers. You cannot go on Shark Tank and not know your numbers. And all of these individuals probably won their pitches because they knew what they needed the money for. Product development, market development, promotion. They clearly stated, this is what I need the money for. And that's what you have to do. You have to have a clear understanding of what do you need this money for? Why do you need this money? Why should that customer buy from you? Why should that person want to work with you? You need to know your numbers. And Leroy, what was your takeaway from that video?
No, it's just like you said, the more you know about your numbers, because the investors, whether it's Shark Tank or any other investor, even if it's a bank that you go and you want to get a loan from, they want to know that not only do you know your numbers, but where is that money going to be spent? You have to account for every single dollar that you want to be able to spend that you're asking them for. And what they're asking you in return is, hey, what are you spending your money on? And then when can I expect, or how can I expect, what return should I or do I expect to get off of the way that you're spending your money? So that's the importance of, that's what I got of it. When you know your numbers, you're able to know where your money is going, and you're able to even Don, even before knowing your numbers, but giving your money a purpose. Because if you give your money a purpose, then you know exactly what you want to spend it on, what you need to spend it on, and then what you're going to get in return for spending your money on certain things. So that's what that tells me. When I look at that video, when I look at or listen to those that are on Shark Tank or The Profit, they know their numbers, but they also know where the money, they've given their money an assignment. And the question is, what kind of return are they getting on the assignment that they've given their money to?
I love that, Leroy. You said give your money a purpose and give your money an assignment. That is very, very important. And this is what these Shark Tank pictures did. They gave their money an assignment. They went there. I need this $300,000 from Damien John because I need marketing development. I need promotion development. I need product development. I'm stuck. That's where I'm stuck at. And that's why I need this money. And doing this, actually, this is a lesson for me. So when I apply for grants, this gives me the confidence now to apply for those grants that can help me with product development, marketing development, business development in my business. Now I'm not afraid because talking to my advisor, talking to my mentor, Dr. McKenzie, I am learning a lot. You have to give your money an assignment and a purpose. When you give your money, it's just not a tangible object anymore. When you give your money an assignment and purpose, that's when the revenue starts coming in. That's when the customers start coming in. And when you are consistent with making sure that purpose is related to your ideal customers, when you know your assignment, and you know that my assignment is to continuously make revenue in my money, you do everything you can to make revenue in your money. You do everything you can to be consistent.
Yeah, give those three purposes again, one more time, Danya.
What purposes?
You said the market, the
marketing
market,
development.
Yeah.
What did I say? Marketing development, business development, and product development. So I'm gonna go ahead and write the three purpose.
Yeah.
And you can talk, Leroy, while I'm doing this.
Sure. Yeah, because those are definitely really good. Because if you start with those three premises of where your money is going to be spent, or where you're looking to be able to put your revenue that you're generating back into your business, you want to put it back into the marketing development, product development, and business development, and then even within those particular developments, breaking it down. What marketing are you going to do? Is it social media marketing? Is it media marketing as far as newspapers, magazines, advertisements like that? What percentages are you going to use to be able to market and brand your business? Product development, like Danya said, when you're talking, you have to understand, okay, am I working with the right manufacturers? Am I working with the right distributors? Am I working with the right vendors that I need? Or is there someone else that I can use that might be able to give me a better price for the product that that I'm either using or creating? Those kind of things give you the ability to be able to take your bottom line and be able to either to be able to increase it. Understanding the product and understanding, working with certain manufacturers, because you can get it done at a lesser price, but not sacrificing the product, the product itself. And then your business development, putting back into your business. What are you doing to develop your business? That means whether it's you in training, taking workshops. Danya talked about, doing a training today, a workshop today. That's part of her product development. That's part of her, business development. I'm sorry. That's part of her business development, because what she learned in that particular workshop, that particular class that master class that she was in, she's able to then take that and apply it to what she's doing in her business. So you should certainly understand, what business developments that you have, that are out there for you to be able to learn from. If there's a class that you need to take, if there's a book that you need to buy, all of those things, all of those are part of your business development. And I'm not a tax accountant, I'm not a tax person, so don't quote me on this, but you can eat those things that you use for your business development can be written off to the business because it's a business expense. It's what you're doing for you and your business. So you certainly want to look at that. Those are three very important ways of being able to give your money an assignment and what you use your money for. So when you go to talk to, when you do your proposal for a grant, when you are talking to your potential investor about your business, you talk to them about that. This is what this is what I'm doing for my marketing development. This is what I'm doing for my product development. This is what I'm doing for my business development. And this is why I need this amount of money for it. So when you do that, you're showing those individuals that will be listening to you that you do know your numbers.
Exactly. You know your numbers and you know what you're doing. And also, having an understanding of your business numbers helps you to determine what activities you need to do daily in your business to bring in consistent cash flow into your business. Because if you're not making money, you can't do product development. You can't do business development. You can't do marketing development because you cannot bootstrap your business for 5 years. It's a breaking point where you have to sit back and determine, why am I only making, I've been making $25,000 in my business for the past 3 years. Why can't I make at least 50,000? What am I doing wrong? That's when you have to know your numbers. Understanding your numbers and reading your numbers on a regular basis gives you a clear understanding. That's why it is important for you to get those financial professionals and tax professionals, that accountant, IRS enrolling agent, financial planner, and bookkeeper on your business dream team. You need to stop trying to be cheap. Stop being cheap. That's one thing I've learned. When you are cheap, your business looks cheap. When you spend money, your business looks good, because it costs to be on StreamYard, to be posting in 3 different sites. It costs money. But I understand the value of why it's important for me to do this. The value of why it's important for me to pay StreamYard on a monthly basis or yearly basis to get this knowledge out to you. Because this is a revenue generating activity that I'm doing. And you have to have a clear understanding. And not only am I doing this, I'm learning as I'm doing it. I'm taking notes. I'm going to go back and listen to what Dr. McKenzie said, what I said, and I'm taking notes because it's very important for you to have a clear understanding about your business, to have a clear understanding as to why it's important for you to know your numbers, not only know them, but understand them. And Leroy, do you want to give some parting advice when it comes to knowing and understanding your numbers?
Well, here's the thing, Danya. Like, and you were saying, you brought up something, and here's a comparison about knowing your numbers, because you talked about product development, you talked about marketing development. When you're looking at those numbers, you look at something just as simple as StreamYard versus Zoom. Both of them cost you. They do the same things. They have different, usages between the two of them. And I'm quite sure that when you were looking at Zoom and you were looking at StreamYard, you did an assessment of, okay, StreamYard gives me XYZ, Zoom gives me ABC. And you, in a comparison to the two, you probably looked at, okay, I can get, if the money that StreamYard charges, is less than what Zoom charges, am I, how does that work for me? How does that allow me to be able to, am I able to still get the same message out there using StreamYard than I do with Zoom? Or is Zoom better than StreamYard? You compare the prices, or even if you say, hey, okay, I'll do a year of Zoom, and then I'll come back and revisit and see, hey, how Zoom worked for me, or I do StreamYard, and I'll see how StreamYard works for me, and then I'll come back, because I had one of my business associates. That's what they did. they looked at they were using Zoom, and they had StreamYard available, and they were like, well, let me see, because StreamYard is X amount of dollars and Zoom is X amount of dollars. Let me see how they work, and then I'll try it for 90 days. And if I think that it's better for me, then I'll go ahead and use that one. That's a way of doing an assessment of a tool that you have for your business, and being able to do part of your marketing and getting it out there and looking at it. It says, hey, okay, if I need to cut back, can I use StreamYard versus Zoom, or Zoom versus StreamYard? Which one can I afford to use? So knowing your numbers are doing things like that with your business, and understanding how to maximize your productivity, but then also how maximizing your productivity is a part of how you increase your bottom line. And when you know your numbers, that's the way that you are able to increase your bottom line and incrementally increase the growth that you want to have as an entrepreneur and as a business.
And that is absolutely good. I am so glad we did this, and we're going to be doing this consistently on Clubhouse. I might have Leroy sign up again so that we can talk more in depth, because I think we need to create this as like a little webinar series on knowing your numbers. So we're going to talk, and we're going to figure out when we're going to do it in March. We're going to do one more show, the Ultimate Business Conversation in March with Dr. Leroy McKenzie. And Leroy, how can they reach out to you?
Sure, they can go to our website if they would like to. It's www.jnfenterprises.com. I'm on Facebook, JNF Enterprises, and also my name, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. I'm on Instagram, What's Up Baltimore Magazine. I'm on YouTube, JNF Enterprises. LinkedIn, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. And then you can check us out. Said YouTube, JNF Enterprises, and then Twitter as well. I'm sorry, at JNF Enterprises 1.
All right, so just put in JNF Enterprises and he'll just pop up.
It should pop up, right?
He'll pop up. And Leroy, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. And if you didn't get to see it all, catch the replay, especially so you can see what the Shark Tank looks for when they pitches, because I think that was a good video to show how you need to know your numbers. And these individuals, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, make sure we have that for tomorrow as well. So.
I'm gonna save it. Because you got to know your numbers, and you must know your numbers. And if you need to do a business checkup, if you would like to do a bankrupt proof your biz checkup, we're doing 20-minute consultations. Go to www.ultimatebizconference.com/contact us to set up your 20-minute biz checkup, and we will let you know who do you need to hire. Why do you need a financial professional, tax professional? Why do you need a legal professional? We will look at your business and tell you who you need to hire on your business dream team. And with the Ultimate Biz Consultants, what we do is we'll tell you what you need, and then we do a lot of networking. We may refer you to Dr. Leroy McKenzie. We may refer you to Deltrice, who is a IRS enrolled agent, or Dr. Raleigh Williams, who is also an accountant and financial professional, or we may refer you to legal people like LaConya Murray Esquire, LaTanya Moore Esquire. We have a Rolodex. That's what the Ultimate Biz Consultants do. We educate you. We bring these business educators so that you can say, okay, I remember the Powerful Biz Woman had Dr. Leroy McKenzie on, and he does this, and that, and I need his services. That's what we do. We are more of a collaborator. We connect you with the people. We look at your business and tell you what you need and who this is the person you need to connect with. Or if you say, well, I still need help with starting my business, we provide consulting services for that. So if you have any, just go to www.ultimatebizconference.com/contact us to set up your 20-minute biz checkup. And if we feel that we're not the right fit for you, we will refer you to Dr. Leroy McKenzie or whatever business educator we know. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the ultimatebizconference.com. I mean, the Ultimate Biz Conversation. See, I got too many UBCs. The Ultimate Biz Conversation. And we will see you next Wednesday, same time, same station. And I will have my guest, Tiffany Fox, who is a life coach. And we're going to be focusing on your mental health, especially during COVID-19 time, running a business. A lot of us are drained because we were stuck in the house. We're tired, we're worn out. So we're going to be focusing on mental health next Wednesday at 8:00, how to take care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't be successful in your business at all. You cannot be successful in your business. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in to the Ultimate Business Conversation. And thank you, Janique, for tuning in. I'm glad you were able, and it was a lot of people that tuned in, Leroy, so you may be getting some phone calls. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next Wednesday, same time, same station. And don't forget to join me and Leroy at Bankrupt Proof Your Biz Clubhouse, because we will be still discussing reading and understanding your business numbers. We're going to be running this throughout March so that you can be ready when your tax preparer comes. When you go to your tax professional, not prepare, tax professional, financial professional, and they will be impressed. You know your number. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in, and you have a beautiful, beautiful evening, and enjoy your weekend. And thank you so much, Leroy, for tuning in and sticking in here with me.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Danya.